You have no money coming in. How do you pay the bills?
Owing money has been causing us huge amount of stress in our marriage.
It just might be the great divide.
I don't have a secret Cayman bank account.
A man who has 2 children does not sit on the couch for 4 weeks.
You're just sitting here and it's embarrassing.
Money, 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 money.
My name is Ingrid, and I work as a location scout manager for TV commercials. It's freelance, and that's what makes it kind of hard to budget. Like I'm waiting today. If the mailman comes, kind of like, woohoo, $3,000 or $4,000.
My name is Jamie, and I worked as an electrician. I changed careers 5 years ago, and I started right from the bottom again.
Financially, once again, sometimes you get laid off, and you can't sort of account for that.
Our spending doesn't fall in line with our earnings, because our earnings are sporadic.
My biggest flaw is I've never been a saver.
It'll be $162.
Okay.
Our debt, I think, has accumulated more from general lifestyle.
Hoping to go on a trip to Hawaii.
For all 4 of you, it would be $4,223.
Well, all right,
Would you like to book that?
We love to travel a lot.
We've been to Costa Rica, our honeymoon in Greece, Mexico, Florida several times, and then last year we went to Japan.
But my greatest frustration with Ingrid when it comes to finances is I don't feel like I'm included.
I handle the money. Jamie and I got together. I already owned the house, and Jamie came into the relationship with like 3 guitars and really nothing else.
I know that there is debt. How much debt or where it actually exists, I don't know anything about that.
Right now we owe $42,000, and I think there's a big blame game going on. And Jamie's very angry with me because he figures I've mismanaged the money. And I'm saying, like, if I wasn't supporting you, I wouldn't be in debt. Get rid of you, and I'm fine.
She has a real resentment towards me. My earnings haven't been able to keep up. I try to say, well, maybe it's the spending problem. She says, no, it's the earning problem.
We have no money coming in. How do you pay the bills?
But if I nag and say, you gotta find some sort of work, you gotta do something, he gets very stressed out. So what I do is just keep borrowing.
We should be moving forward as a partnership, and I just don't feel like it is.
I don't even think we'll last another 6 months because it's become so huge between us.
This month, I'll help this couple move from red to black. I've been solving money problems for over 20 years, tackling everything from high finance to low income. I help people understand money and debt, which is still a huge mystery for most folks. And it's the #1 reason couples split up. So now I'm making house calls. Ingrid and Jamie both agree there's a money problem here, but they don't agree on how to fix it. Ingrid's exhausted after years of juggling 16-hour workdays and all the financial chores, and wants Jamie to take more responsibility. This couple needs to break out of their rut and start doing things differently. Hi, Gail Voss-Oxley.
Hi, Gail.
Oh, a princess room. This 8-year-old has quite a number of things jammed in here. Holy moly. Talk about using every square inch of a room. Look at all the toys. The place is full of stuff nobody uses. Stuff, stuff, and more stuff. More stuff. You think the crux of this is the amount of money coming into the household. He thinks it's the amount of money going out of the household, and I'm here to tell you it's both. There is a money problem, but I see the relationship problem as being the predominant factor. When you plucked him out of his parents' garage loft, you must have known what you were buying.
I feel like I'm giving 100%, and I know Ingrid definitely feels she does.
Okay, if you love a person and that person is collapsing in front of you from sheer frustration, then you look at what needs to be done and you do it. And I'm going to take you through the numbers to show you what you need to change. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Debt disaster.
This is the game you are playing, my darling Ingrid. Ingrid is self-employed and doesn't get paid on a regular schedule, so she's gotten into the bad habit of using credit to fill her cash flow gaps. Then when she gets a check, instead of paying off her credit, she just moves the money around and around, creating a never-ending circle of debt. You took a consolidation loan at 18.99%.
Yeah.
Who consolidates at 18.99%?
They sent me something in the mail and it was 7%, and then I went in and did everything, and then I realized it was 18.99, and I was too embarrassed to admit that I didn't know what was going on, and so I didn't do anything.
Over the 5 years it takes to pay it back, you will pay $13,000 in interest.
That's outrageous. And I would never have agreed to that if I'd known anything about it.
The question you're always asking is, where is all the money going? You think you're spending $400 a month on gas, but you're spending 50% more than that. You think you're spending $250 on repairs, but it's almost $400. There's your entertainment.
Yeah.
Booze. Really? $200 a month in booze?
We're not drinking it all ourselves.
Over $2,000 a month in cash. I can't tell where you spent it. You are overspending $3,300 a month more than you make.
$3,300 a month.
And if you keep it up, in 5 years' time, you will be $500,000 in the hole. Are you prepared to do anything I ask to get you from where you are right now, which sucks, to where you think you need to be to have a solid life?
I promise.
And I promise.
Okay, so over the next few weeks, I'm going to give you a series of challenges to do. If you do the challenges to my satisfaction, I'll give you up to $5,000 to help you pay down the debt. If you don't do the challenges, you don't get the money. What we're going to do this month is we're going to redistribute the power in the family. We are going to teach your children how to manage their money. We're going to get you working together so you don't resent each other anymore. You need to get me your debit cards and your credit cards because they're gone.
You closed the doors in here so people couldn't see what you didn't clean up.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
At the rate we're going right now, in between jobs, we can last for 2 weeks.
Ingrid and Jamie are both self-employed, but even when the money is not coming in, they keep spending. If you net $7,000 a month, how much is enough? In the hole for over $40,000, Ingrid puts the blame squarely on Jamie's lack of motivation.
I'm just not as energetic. And that's just part of who I am.
Meanwhile, Ingrid does her fair share of the spending. Who is going to the salon for $90 a month? Unless these two can get on the same page, their young family is at risk. For the next month, this couple will learn to live on a strict cash budget. No more credit cards. They'll complete weekly challenges to tackle their money and relationship issues. And if they're willing to change, I will reward them with thousands of dollars to pay down their debt. No changes, no money. Give me those cards.
Go.
Now it's time to get to the serious work. I cut your budget by 64%, from $6,100 to $2,200.
Oh, that's going to be the toughest.
You will now have $150 a week for food. You will have $175 a week for transportation, $25 a week for entertainment, $12.50 for clothing and gifts. You will have $68.75 for other. And this jar is a jar nobody else has. It's the kids' jar. This $152.25, their gymnastics will come out of this. And clothing for the kids, but it also includes an allowance, which we'll talk about at a later time.
Okay.
Okay? This is the thing you people are really bad at. You don't keep track, so now you have to keep track. This is a budget binder. Write it down. And now we come to your first challenge.
All right.
Remember that big deal I made about your relationship?
Yes.
Yes.
We're actually going to do your relationship rescue challenge first. This house is just jammed full of stuff. It's just there because it's always been there, kind of like the debt. And so we're going to go through this house and you are going to get rid of everything that is not adding true value to your lives. Here's the kicker. While you are doing this challenge, Ingrid, you may not say more than 30 sentences. So choose them wisely.
I think that's mean. That's not nice to a chatterbox.
I just don't see the point of getting rid of all those sort of things. But Ingrid is overjoyed with it.
Hi, I'm Helen Buttigieg.
Purging a house from top to bottom can be an overwhelming job. Helen is a professional organizer, and I've asked her to help Ingrid and Jamie get rid of some of their stuff.
I also understand that Gail has given you a challenge of keeping under 30 sentences. So I've got a counter for you, Jamie. You can keep track of Ingrid's sentences and make sure that they stay under 30.
Tell me when it starts. Okay.
He's pressing it. It started.
Okay.
Have you worn it in the last year? And does it make you feel good when you put it on?
The stuff they're not keeping needs to be divided into 3 categories. Things they could sell at a future garage sale, things they're willing to donate, and what's just gonna get tossed in the garbage.
When I see a house filled with clutter like this, I'm not surprised that there are financial issues and relationship issues. In clearing all this stuff, Jamie and Ingrid are going to have a better idea of what they need to do to make the relationship work.
Yes? Okay, so.
That should be organized in one of these.
Could you use this for work?
The 30-sentence rule was a bit tough at the beginning, but as time wore on, I didn't even feel like saying anything more. I was so exhausted.
Ah! Well, you closed the doors in here so people couldn't see what you didn't clean up.
Well, one thing at a time, man. Jesus, I'm exhausted. 16 to go.
I am glad she's not here. There's a sentence I know.
There's a sentence. I can get used to this, you know, like on the weekends or something.
Okay, not as much junk in this room, so this is an improvement. Ah, this is a major improvement. Oh, very nicely done. Are you kidding me? This all came out of your house? Does the house feel lighter to you?
Yes, much larger.
Good that it's done.
Are you working this week, Jamie?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so you're still carrying the whole load by yourself.
Yeah.
How are the jars going?
The most difficult thing for me is just actually getting receipts and then
Remembering to get the
remembering to do
receipt.
that. I'm sure that'll wear off over, the first week.
Okay, this is your life lesson challenge. Jamie, it's only fair that you pick up the slack. So this week, you're taking control of the money management. Okay, managing money is part of life. You took those lessons about those sentences very seriously, didn't you?
I like listening. You know, if somebody has something good to say, I'm perfectly happy to listen.
Okay. So here's the fun part of your week's challenge. You have a birthday party coming up. This week, I am giving you $100, and you have to plan a fabulous birthday party for your daughter.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna have to be really creative in terms of how you do this.
We were okay the last 2 weeks, but we don't have the money to put in the jars today.
If there's no income, how do you eat?
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
It was all smiles 12 years ago when Ingrid married the younger Jamie. But trying to raise a family on a sporadic income, they've been using credit to fill the gap. You are overspending $3,300 a month more than you make. As the low man on the union totem pole, Jamie is often out of work. Ingrid resents his lack of effort in finding extra work.
I buy all the groceries, I cook all the meals, I do all the laundry. I'm just doing twice as much work.
Their first challenge was to declutter their lives so they could focus on what's really important. If they succeed at my challenges, I'll give them up to $5,000 to help pay down their debt. This week, Jamie's going to learn how to handle the finances, and I've given him an office in the box to help him get organized.
It's hard to feel a real responsibility. We've been given a zero voice in the matter.
But Jamie didn't have to keep track of too many numbers. Since he hasn't worked for the past 2 weeks, there isn't any money coming in.
The best thing about Jamie taking over the bills was that he got an awareness that we have way more money going out than coming in.
They also have to plan a great birthday party for their daughter on a tight budget.
Table cover for $2.
Okay, that's
Not a bad
reasonable.
idea.
The $100 I gave them went a lot further than they thought.
Well, how expensive is it?
Planning the party for Kathleen was a lot of fun. She's such a terrific girl.
That would be a perfect pinata. I'm very excited because we just bought a pinata that's like an Oscar award, and we've got a bunch of stuff for the party, so I think it's going to be very good.
But I think we're going to be able to have a birthday she remembers, even with a $100 budget.
Okay, we're under 60, so we still have money for food and cake, right? All righty, look at all this stuff.
So you can plan a birthday party on $100, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. We're really looking forward to it.
Good.
She's so excited.
So, Jamie, having taken over the responsibility for the finances this week, have you guys come to a resolution that you are partners in this relationship?
Well, I do realize now that it is very difficult.
Yes, it's impossible. What she's doing is impossible.
Impossible, yes.
Yeah. What happens very often I see with couples is that one person assumes all the responsibility for the income and runs around with their head chopped off because they're always trying to cover their ass, and the other person just waits for things to happen. And the kids will pick up that message. Which brings me to your future plan challenge. Your future plan challenge is all about teaching your kids about money. You're going to put your kids on an allowance, and these are the little jars. The reason we're in a theater is because the best way to teach kids is by entertaining them. You are going to be the actors, and you have to come up with the skit that teaches the lesson of allowances in a way that your children will have fun with.
But we don't have the money to put in the jars today.
You have no money?
No. Like there's none in the bank either.
Why?
Because there wasn't at the
There was no income.
Because there was no income this month.
We put in.
Hello? Can you see the problem here? If there's no income, how do you eat?
It's just between checks, that's all.
But there are tons of people out there, Jamie, who have a second job, and it may not be the thing they love to do, but it's what you do to make it work.
The biggest pitfall in being self-employed is cash flow management. Couples like Jamie and Ingrid need an emergency fund large enough to float them for a couple of months if they're not working.
I always contributed 100% of what I made. Where's my incentive, though? If I put in more money, all I'm going to do is be more frustrated.
What incentive have I had?
Your money goes
I've
down.
given all my money. You always say, I give 100% of my money to you. Well, I don't have a
you do the same
secret
thing.
Cayman bank account. I've given it all, and I have no incentive.
Okay.
I'm going back to school.
Listen,
You can pay for me.
that's stuff you're going to have to sit down and figure out. I had hoped that at the very least, that would be something you already understood. So enjoy your performance with your children. Make sure the lesson comes across to them.
Okay.
And I'll see you next week.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks,
Good.
Gail.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Good idea or bad idea?
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
We don't have the money to put in the jars today.
Despite my best efforts, the message isn't getting through.
Ingrid and Jamie are struggling with over $40,000 in consumer debt. And unless Jamie can find a way to earn more money, this family is headed for financial disaster.
If you keep it up, in 5 years' time, you will be $500,000 in the hole.
I've been challenging them to focus on the priorities, and now they have to pass that message on to their kids who've brought a few friends along.
Welcome to the show. Good idea or bad idea? You guys are going to tell us with your signs if it's a good idea or a bad idea. Who can do that? Okay, we have 4 tables to do with finances. The home table. Then we have fun stuff, food and essentials. And then we have the future. Work, 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 work. Here's your pay, Jamie. What's Jamie gonna do with all that money? Fun stuff. Good idea or bad idea? Bad idea! Why do you think it's a bad idea?
He has nothing for the future, food, or his house. When Dad spent all his money on fun stuff, that was pretty funny because it doesn't seem like you would ever do that really, so somebody would. Guess Dad.
So now we have a little bit of money in each spot. Who thinks this is a good idea? Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week.
Over the last month, Ingrid and Jamie did a better job of teaching the lessons than they did of learning them. I don't think Jamie got that much out of the last challenge. So I advised Ingrid to use their tax refunds to establish an emergency fund and then consolidate their debt on their mortgage to reduce the amount of interest they're paying. As I headed into the final visit, I was still undecided as to the amount I was going to award this couple.
You still have all the streamers from the party up. How was the party?
Oh, the party was wonderful. It worked out really well. Jamie did a great job. He filmed it all, he organized it all, and I was just in charge of food and cake.
How have you found the whole process so far?
Getting rid of the stuff challenge was tough just because I was working so much at the time. So that was a lot.
Having to find time to, go on the internet every day and look at the bills and see what's happening.
But it doesn't take long. It only takes 10 minutes.
And then the jars, going through the jars and
What
and
did
doing
you
that
do about
accounting.
filling up the jars that were all empty?
If you have no money, you just don't spend any money. So our cars had gas in them. We had food in the freezer.
How was the work this week? Did you get a full week's worth of work?
I got like 4 days, as many as was offered.
Taking just what's offered isn't good enough. Hello. Twice I've urged Jamie to do whatever it takes to make more money, but he seems unwilling to put in the effort, and I'm not convinced Ingrid won't keep covering for Jamie by continuing to do everything herself. If you were at 1 when we started, where do you think you are now?
We're probably only still a 6 or 7. I think we have some more learning to do.
I happen to agree with you. I think you're at about a 6. I see huge room for further improvement. I think there's some responsibility issues in terms of working out exactly what it takes to keep this ship afloat. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I have for you a check for $3,000. You've come a ways, but there's still a ways for you to go.
It's a bit disappointing not to get the whole amount, especially when you've worked so hard at it. But my gut feeling is just that she doesn't feel like it's sunk into us in the big picture.
If you do what needs to be done over the next 2 months, establish your emergency fund, manage to balance income and expenses, then I'll send you another $1,000.
That's some incentive to get it done.
Okay, good.
I'm quite happy about that it has opened up some dialogue with Ingrid and I about what's going on.
We definitely have some tools now. We can pay off all of our debt, really. I mean, that's my goal, but we both have to be working.
Money, 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 money,